Beginning with updates from the West Asian region, Israel has announced limited ground operations against Hezbollah in Lebanon, sending its soldiers across the border. Now, in a statement, the Israeli Defense Forces said that they've targeted and their targets were located close to the border that posed an immediate threat to Israeli communities in northern Israel. IDF said the military operation Northern Arrows involves ground forces supported by Air Force and artillery with precise strikes. Just after midnight, consecutive blasts were heard across the Lebanese capital. Hezbollah deputy leader Naim Qassem, in a first public speech since Hassan Nasrallah's death, said the resistance forces are ready for any Israeli ground engagement. At least 95 people have been killed and 172 others have been wounded as Israeli warplanes carried out massive strikes on Beirut's southern suburbs, all in the last 24 hours. According to State Department of the US was informed about Israel's ground operation in Lebanon. Spokesperson Matthew Miller said that the US officials were in continuous talks with their Israeli counterparts. He said at this point the US is not evacuating Americans from Lebanon.
We're not evacuating American citizens from Lebanon at this time. We always conduct a prudent planning process. We have been doing that for some months, going all the way back to October 7th, but at this time there's still commercial options available.
All right.
Meanwhile, the United Kingdom is chartering a flight to help British nationals who want to leave the region. The flight is due to leave Beirut Rafik Hariri International Airport on Wednesday. The call comes as several airlines, including Air France, Emirates, Air Algeria and Turkish Airlines temporarily suspend flights to the region. Brazil's President Lula da Silva condemned the Israeli strike on Lebanon. Also, Turkish President Erdogan called on the United Nations to recommend the use of force in case the Security Council fails to stop Israel's attack on Lebanon. Meanwhile, the European Union renewed its call for an immediate ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel.
This is a moment of truth for Lebanon. Certainly, it's a moment of truth for this country caught in the middle of a war, and the European Union has to collectively commit to preserve its state institutions of the risk of collapsing.
And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani sends us this report from New York.
U.S. officials say that they have persuaded Israel to hold off on a major ground offensive against southern Lebanon. They say after intense weekend talks, Israel plans targeted incursions by special ops forces to eliminate Hezbollah positions that have attacked northern Israel. According to the State Department, the U.S. supports Israel's right to defend itself, but seeks a diplomatic resolution at the end of the day. Spokesperson Miller said Monday that Israeli officials assured the U.S. that they won't follow up with larger operations or occupations. However, a full-scale invasion remains possible if circumstances ultimately change. U.S. officials worry about what is known as mission creep and Israel potentially deciding to support raids with more forces. Nonetheless, the situation does remain fluid as we speak. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION The World.